Another Idaho politician looks like they'll end up in court after not fulfilling a public records request. A new lawsuit filed against Representative Priscilla Giddings, claiming she violated the state's public record laws. You may remember this happened with Lieutenant Governor Janice McGeachin last summer. And this isn't related to that situation, although it was happening about the same time. The request for documents stems from what happened during an ethics hearing into then Representative Aaron Von Ehlinger's alleged rape of a State House staffer, and the subsequent ethics hearing into Representative Giddings on how she handled herself during Von Ehlinger's ethics hearing. I know there's a lot of layers there and it needs some explaining, which is why Joe Paris is here to dive into the lawsuit claiming Giddings didn't share those public documents and why Giddings says she's done nothing wrong.
Court records show a new lawsuit filed against Idaho Representative Priscilla Giddings alleging violations of Idaho's public record laws. The suit is filed by attorney Erika Birch, whose firm has worked on behalf of Jane Doe, the legislative intern who accused now former lawmaker Aaron Von Ehlinger of raping her in early 2021. Court records show that Birch has been trying to get public records from Representative Giddings concerning her communications with Aaron Von Ehlinger. Through 2021, Birch requested any written or electronic communications between Representative Giddings and Von Ehlinger regarding Jane Doe, the ethics hearing into Von Ehlinger's alleged actions, and the Ethics Committee complaint and hearing from March 9, 2021 onward. As the ethics investigation into Von Ehlinger was underway, Representative Giddings shared an article link that contained Jane Doe's real name, picture, and personal details. The link was shared to Giddings' Facebook page, and she also sent it out to her legislative newsletter mailing list. Now, those actions were called into question, and Giddings faced her own ethics investigation in the fall of 2021. The ethics panel told Giddings that they were reacting not to just Giddings' post, but to her dishonesty when testifying about what had happened. In an April ethics hearing for Von Ehlinger, Giddings denied sharing Jane Doe's name online. Minutes later, though, another lawmaker on the ethics committee pulled up the post from her Facebook and showed everyone during the hearing. The new lawsuit lays out a timeline of communication between Birch and Giddings from August 2021 through the end of the year. Emails included in court records show that Birch requested communications between Giddings and Von Ehlinger, with Giddings responding to the initial request saying, quote, "My office does not have any public record related to your request that isn't already public. I have asked the Legislative Service Office to search their database as well. My office considers this request closed. Best regards, Representative Giddings." Email records show that Birch responded to Giddings, making the request again, saying in part, quote, "I'm not sure what you mean by you don't have any public records that aren't already public." She goes on to include the Idaho Public Records Act code, saying Giddings must produce requested records. Birch, in another email in December, again asked for the requested records. She wrote in part, quote, "We would like to avoid initiating a lawsuit." There was no response from Giddings, so in January, a suit was filed. And I just heard back from Representative Giddings a very short time ago. She wrote to me and she says she's calling this lawsuit against her a nuisance lawsuit. And she sent me a statement that says in part the following. She says, quote, "This lawsuit is over a public records request for records that don't exist. The Legislative Services Office even searched all my files and found nothing related to their request. The leftist lawyer is clearly fishing for more information in an attempt to get a huge payout." She finishes her statement saying, "Classic harassment tactics, but I am afraid it's par for the course." Again, Representative Giddings is running for lieutenant governor right now, Brian, so there has been a conversation last year into this year from Representative Giddings saying that she feels she's being targeted as a part of her campaign. She singled out certain members of House leadership over on the Republican Party side. When talking to them, Brian, they assure me that this has nothing to do with politics in the race for the lieutenant governor, but everyone entitled to their own opinion.
All right, could these documents don't exist, could be, just kind of clarified by saying there's private communications versus public communications?
Yes, so public communications as an elected official or someone who's working in public office, you can ask for the communications from their public email or cell phone. But Brian, if they have private communications that's not a state email or a state cell phone, those are not really part of Public Records Act. So it's possible for a politician to communicate, I guess, off public record. It's kind of a gray area, though, and it can get very confusing.
Totally understandable. All right, thank you very much, Joe.